And I welcome everyone to Press TV's news review program, where we get in-depth in one of the day's top stories. Now, the U.S. Secretary of Defense says the country will deploy 3,000 additional forces and military hardware to Saudi Arabia, including missile systems and warplanes.
In response to continued threats in the region, I've ordered the deployment to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia of 2 additional fighter squadrons and supporting personnel, along with additional Patriot and THAAD air and missile defense batteries. Taken together with other deployments I've extended or authorized within the last month, this involves about 3,000 United States forces. In fact, in response to Iranian provocations since May...
As for said decision follows a conversation with the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman about efforts to protect U.S. allies from, quote, further Iranian aggression. Esper rehashed U.S. accusations that Iran was behind the recent attacks on Saudi oil facilities, despite Yemen's Ansar forces claiming responsibility. And announced the deployment of 200 troops as well as Patriot missile batteries to the kingdom in the wake of those attacks. According to the Pentagon, number of American forces has increased by about 14,000 in Central Command area covering the Middle East since May. Iran has denied the U.S. allegation as deception and described the presence of foreign forces in the region as a source of instability and insecurity. Now joining us for this news review is Ronnie Corvello, Press TV correspondent, joining us out of Philadelphia, and Jacob Music, host of Voice of Revolution Radio, joining us out of Baltimore, Maryland. Gentlemen,
thank you for having me.
You bet. Welcome both of you to the program. I guess, Ronnie, we're going to start with you. Tell us the latest out of Washington.
Well, what I heard so far is that many Republicans and Democrats are criticizing Donald Trump for that decision. And many of them are asking how long Trump's word is valid. Because less than 24 hours ago, he bragged to supporters at a campaign-style rally in Minnesota that he was working very hard to bring U.S. soldiers home from foreign wars. In 24 hours or less than that, then comes the Pentagon saying that they were sending 1,800 troops to Saudi Arabia. Yesterday, I was at the airport and I had an opportunity to meet a few troops coming back from Middle East. And talking to them, many of them said to me the morale is very low because many of them are just there to protect oil, nothing more. And so right now I heard 3 words: liar, that this decision is hypocrisy, and just another rhetoric.
And Jacob, that's a really good point that Ronnie just mentioned. I mean, one of the big staples of Donald Trump's campaign promise was to bring troops home. So what's going on?
Of course, but when it comes to what the president says, what his supporters understand, and what his policies actually equate to, it's more so rhetoric that will please people rather than policies that actually lead to change. And I think that with a United States withdrawal out of Syria, a lot of his supporters will say, oh yes, he did what he was wanting to do, even though he invaded Syria in the first place. That was not the Obama administration, that was Trump. But when it comes to what Donald Trump says and if there's meaning, I think we've already had that discussion where it's pretty meaningless. And there's about 30% of the country, or 33%, that really are hardcore supporters, and no matter what he does, he will have their support.
And Ronnie, when we look at the track record with respect to Washington deploying troops to the Middle East, we really don't see anywhere where there's a sustainable peace after troops arrive or with troop presence or even after the troops leave. It's just been one long, reckless record for Washington in the Middle East.
Well, that is absolutely true. And as you see what happened right now with Turkey, United States just leave the ones that they will be protected so far in the hands of the Turkish. And that means that they will be able to do whatever they want to. The situation in the Middle East, as far as we can see up to now, had no help from the United States.
And Jacob, and Ronnie said, we spoke to a few troops, morale is really low, and I'm sure you're pretty well aware that suicide among active troops is at record numbers, and this pretty much explains when you have troops telling you all we're doing is going over there to protect the nation's oil interests. That's really a blow to the military's morale, isn't it?
Also, and it's not the U.S. military's mission either. I mean, they take an oath to protect the United States. How is being stationed at, countless countries in the world, defending different countries or being stationed in these faraway lands, like you said, defending oil installations, that's not in the strict purview of defending the United States. Now, our policymakers and the leaders of the military say that those are United States interests, but they're not the interests of the masses of the working class in the United States. Protect the safety of oil installations in Saudi Arabia, apart from their effect on oil prices, doesn't affect the average American person, and that's not protecting our interests.
And Jacob, what about Mark Esper saying that we made this decision after consulting and speaking with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman? Can you mention a more credible person to ask a request or a favor of you?
Well, obviously not credible people, but I think that when it comes to the president, he sees himself as a strong man. He respects strong men. It's been said that he respects what he sees as winners. And those include Kim Jong-un. Those include the de facto leader of Saudi Arabia. Those include President or Prime Minister Netanyahu. And those include probably Erdogan as well. They have the same kind of personality. And Donald Trump can see eye to eye with that kind of person. While many of us may see those people and their behavior as reprehensible, this is the kind of person that garners his respect. And that's why a lot of the European leaders who are more weak-willed or meek or genteel, he does not get along with them, and that's part of that reason.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you both for joining us for this news review. Ronnie Crivello, Press TV correspondent, joining us out of Philadelphia, and Jacob Music, host of Voice of Revolution Radio, joining us from Baltimore, Maryland. And that's a wrap, viewers of this segment of your Press TV's News Review. Thanks for tuning in, and goodbye for now.